of that bill or any information that you can give me that proves that I've done this home improvement. So when I go to do my taxes, I can give that information to my accountant, and my accountant can make sure that he or she applies accordingly the credit that I'm entitled to receive for that home improvement. So that's just a tip for the day today, because a lot of people have done work and always forget to get it ready for their taxes. And as I promised, we're going to have an expert with us on the show today. Her name is Renee Nodar, and she's with Lincoln Mortgage. Can you hear me, Renee?
I can, Anthony. How are you?
Great. I'm doing well, thank you. Um, I'm thanking you for joining us on the show. I know you were not able to join us in the studio, but I know that you're actually able to do this live call, and I really, really appreciate it. Renee, could you please tell us a little bit about who you are and your company, please?
Sure. My name is Renee Nodar, Senior Loan Officer with Lincoln Mortgage Company.
And how long have you been with the company?
Submitted and approved through Lincoln Mortgage Company.
Okay. And how long have you been with the company?
I've been with Lincoln Mortgage for almost 5.5 years.
Okay. Now, are you a mortgage banker or are you a mortgage lender?
We are mortgage bankers.
Okay. What's the difference, Renee, between a mortgage banker and a mortgage lender?
Mortgage bankers have many different end investors to place their loans with. So as a correspondent banker, we have the ability to get more people approved because we have different guidelines with all of the different investors.
Oh, wow, that's nice to know. Did you hear that, public? Oh, my goodness. So a mortgage banker is different from a mortgage lender. So there's more advantages, I guess. Could you tell us, Renee, I mean, you know this market. The market's very tough right now. Trying to get loans is very hard. And people, they're struggling, but there's some people out there who really want to buy a home. They're very interested. They have to either relocate because of job reasons, or, they're just really ready to buy. Can you tell us what does someone actually have to do to be able to either qualify or be able to get a mortgage loan?
Okay. Well, the first and most important thing in this market is credit score. And many people don't realize how important that credit score is right now. So the most important thing is the credit profile and the credit score. Secondly would be the employment or your income. We have to look at both W-2 forms and tax returns that have been filed in order to get someone qualified for their mortgage loan. Employment is important as well. We do have some flexibility with your employment history. Say if there's been a gap in your employment, we can usually work around those issues. But credit, employment, down payment is another important thing. For many loans, we need to have a minimum down payment, which is 3.5% for most of your government loans. But that also can be money from a 401k or a gift from a relative. So there are ways to work around the different requirements.
Let me ask you a question, Renee. When you say income taxes, how many years of income taxes does a prospective buyer have to give your company?
2 years is the guideline for lending right now. We have to look at 2 years of income tax returns, and we'll take an average. Sometimes we don't have to take an average, but we do need to see that there have been income tax returns filed for the previous 2 years.
Okay, and when you say job employment, how long does someone have to be in their job to, before they can actually qualify? Let's say I just started my job 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks. I mean, is there a time frame that the banks are looking for as far as employment is concerned?
If you are moving to a new job from a previous job that would be, in the same similar type of background, then time on the job isn't going to be important. If you're coming directly out of school, or a training program. You can start your job, and after 1 month of pay stubs, we can get you your mortgage. We've done it, with an offer letter as well, knowing that you're going to start within the next 30 days. But if you're just coming into the employment field and you've had no schooling, you've had no other employment, we need a 2-year work history established.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That's wonderful to know. Now, how does someone go about starting the mortgage process? I mean, they call up a mortgage lender, so a mortgage banker like yourself, and they say they want to buy a house. What's the criteria? What do they have to do? They have to fill an application out? Do they have to pay a fee? How does it work?
We can do this on the phone. We start off by doing a pre-qualification. I get a credit report. Then I ask some basic questions about income and, or salary versus hourly. I get all the information together. Once I get the credit report, then I do an analyzation. I will give a free consultation on the credit report so that if we're ready, then we can move forward. Otherwise, I will work with the people at no cost to them to get them ready to get their mortgage. I will run a simulation report with a credit company that I work very closely with, and I do a consultation and I set up a plan for them so that if they're not ready right now, they know exactly what they have to do and how long it will take to become mortgage eligible.
Okay, excellent. And at the time that they're doing that application, do most lenders or mortgage bankers ask for a fee when they do that application?
Every lender is different. We do not collect a fee on a mortgage application at all. We don't have any upfront fees. That's just, at Lincoln Mortgage, that is, our guideline that we follow. So, no, we do not ask for an application fee of any kind upon the first consultation.
Okay, excellent. And do they come in with all their stuff, like their income tax returns, their ID? They're going to need their ID, I guess. Whatever paperwork is required from they bring it with them. They make copies, or they could fax it.
Or they can fax it. We ask for the previous 1 month of pay stubs. We ask for the previous 2 years of tax returns, all the pages, including the W-2 forms, and we ask for one bank statement, 1 month of a complete bank statement of any asset-bearing accounts, 401ks, retirement, bank statements, checking, savings, and so forth.
Okay. Now, I know there's different programs out there, Renee, and when we come back from this commercial, we're actually going to go ahead and Renee is going to give you some information on the different types of loans that actually exist. We'll be right back. Okay, we're live here at the NJ Real Estate Show. We're back, and thank you for joining. We have our special guest with us today by the name of Renee Nodar with Lincoln Mortgage, and she's been discussing with us what it is that you need to do to be able to get a mortgage loan. So, Renee, my next question is, could you tell us what are some of the mortgage loans that are out there? I know there's different loans, but there's primarily some basic. I think there's primarily like three basic loans that people would normally get or qualify for. Could you tell us what are some of those?
Well, you have a conventional requires a minimum of 5% down. The credit criteria for a conventional loan is a much, much higher standard. So the credit is going to be very important in a conventional loan. Next, we have the government loans. There are two different kinds of government loans. One is a FHA loan, which is insured by the government. The other is a veteran loan, which is also guaranteed, insured by the government. So the FHA loan would require a minimum of 3.5% down. The VA loan doesn't require any down payment at all. There's also another loan called the USDA loan. It's a rural housing loan. It's 100% financing available in specific areas, in the rural areas in the country.
with the FHA loan, because I'm as a realtor, I'm very quite familiar with that loan. Are they still allowing the seller to help the buyer with closing costs?
Absolutely. They still allow the seller to contribute to the closing costs and up to 6% for closing costs.
Up to 6%. That's wonderful. Did you hear that, America? Did you hear that, buyers? FHA is just 3.5% down and 6%. Up to 6%, the seller can assist you with your closing costs. So that's something you have to consider. Now, with the VA loans, Renee, how does someone know if they qualify to have a VA loan? You have to be in military duty.
You have to have been, or you could still be active military. You have to be, you have to have a certain requirement through your eligibility, which you can find out by contacting the Veterans Association. Actually, to ask them whether or not you've got enough time, enough duty time to be able to be eligible for the 100% financing.
Okay. Out of all the loans, Renee, that which is for your basic buyer out there who's looking to buy for the first time, what's the type of loan that they're most likely to receive based on their situation? If let's say they have all their ducks in order, they have their verifiable employment, they have good credit, would it be FHA? Would it be conventional?
Well, again, if the credit is going to be perfect or very, very good with high credit scores, and they have the ability to put 5% down of their own money, conventional would be a good option. FHA was designed for less money down, 3.5%, for the person that may not have the perfect picture regarding credit, so that the government will ensure that loan for them and give them that ability to be a first-time home buyer if they had some previous problems with their credit in the past and now they've recovered and they want to put less money down. FHA would be the loan for them. If they don't have the veterans, the ability to do a VA loan, which would be the best loan because they don't need any down payment with that loan.
Okay, now you also mentioned the USDA loan. Can you give us more information about that loan, that type of loan?
USDA loan is a loan that's guaranteed by the government. Again, it requires no down payment. It's a stricter loan than FHA because of the way that they qualify, but it's also designed for only specific areas, and there are maps that the USDA has developed that will tell you if the area that you want to purchase is considered a rural area, and we can get that information with the property address. We can go right online and pull up that address to see if the property they would be interested in is in an eligible area.
And what are the requirements? The down payment requirements as far as the percentage?
No down payment required.
No down payment.
USDA
wow.
is 100% financing loan. There is no down payment required.
Okay, so you listen up, folks. So you heard it, right? USDA loans. It's a specific geographical area, and it's 100% financing, no down payment. I think that's a wonderful loan. So the buyers really have options out there to choose from based on their circumstance, and it's case to case, of course. I understand that, Renee. Can you also tell us how long does it normally take for a buyer to know if they're pre-qualified or not to be able to buy a house? As soon as you get all the details, all their information,
sure.
How long does it normally take for them to know?
Well, if I do the pre-qualification would be based on a credit report and their income that they've disclosed to me. That's a pre-qualification. I can give them an idea instantaneously after taking the information, looking at the credit, getting that information, whether or not they're going to be pre-qualified for a specific amount. Once we review pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements, once we review that information, then we can turn that into a pre-approval. That can be as quick as, a few hours or a day, depending on how quickly they can get that information to me via fax or email or in person so that I can review.
Okay, excellent. Well, Renee Noda, I am so excited that you were able to join us today on the NJ Real Estate Show. And America, I'm really hoping that you have taken an ear to this information that was given to you today. Renee, I just thank you for everything. Renee's Nodar's information will be again on my blog, on my YouTube channel, on the